Hello and welcome to the Black Woman's Guide to Wellness. There's a great quote by Roxane Gay that says, "No one is coming to save us, we must save ourselves." And there's no truer statement spoken when it comes to wellness in the Black community. Thinking about this fact that African Americans spend more money in beauty, spa, and wellness than any other demographic, 9 times more. That's not my numbers, that's from Nielsen. Adding to that, African Americans also spend more on smart technology as far as like smartphones and the apps that really help with health. Yet nowhere is there any kind of marketing intention from traditional media and wellness outlets to be able to reach this demographic. That's a high spend demographic, and the caveat being a high mortality demographic. And really thinking about how can we create wellness that fits us. So I love this idea of really being in charge of our own wellness and not having to stick to these traditions or standards that have been set for others that may not actually apply to us, be enjoyable, experienced. We just have some other things that we are dealing with that maybe, the rest of the world cannot identify with. There are some pretty amazing organizations that are out there, and I charge you the same way I'm looking at the Black Woman's Guide to Wellness. It's not, I'm trying to make it touch a lot of different points, but that does not make it all encompassing. Wellness is not one size fit all. So think about what is it that you can maybe create or do to enhance wellness in your community, the same way other organizations have kind of pulled together to create wellness in their communities. One of the places that I think of is Heal House. And I said the next time I go to New York, I have got to go get a session. It just looks so amazing. I've been following them on Instagram probably for about 2 to 3 years. I love their classes, the intention, just the whole conversation. Looking at like Black doula experiences. Shout out to my girl Nelijah and Flourish. It's a lifestyle boutique in Baltimore. Candles, incense, sage, but also classes, education, and then she also does doula classes. So they support the mother during birth, and it's so powerful to have someone who looks like you in the room as you are going through that process, and understanding, again, the mortality rate is much higher for African American women and labor. So having that support. There's also Black Girl Yoga. Follow them on Instagram, do some of those different moves, definitely understand the healing power, beneficial power of yoga. Had some knee issues about 20 years ago. Had surgery, and what really was able to bring me back from the brink was this yoga exercise that I implemented into my life and still practice on a pretty regular basis. So again, when we talk about wellness, it doesn't have to be on this, high expensive level. There is a Black Girl Yoga movement on YouTube where you can go and watch videos on how to perk your body up in the morning and how to settle it down at night and how to deal with your stress. And what the science is showing is stress is definitely an underlying cause to several other conditions. So when we can address that stress that comes from racism, that comes from, inequity, inequality, lack of inclusion, those feelings that we carry around with us are having such a detrimental impact on our bodies, which is why wellness is going to be so important, I'm going to talk about in a future video the history of Black wellness. It's not new, and it comes from, Africa and just some of the different practices. We'll dive a little bit deeper into that. But there's another movement that I saw that's so exciting, which is Black Girl Breathing. If you've ever watched my Spa SOS, I always start with this Dr. Wild breathing where you breathe in for 4, you hold for 7, and you exhale for 8. And they have shown such a beneficial impact of breathing, where it lowers your stress level, it lowers your cholesterol, it lowers your blood pressure. It increases the blood flow. It reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone in your body. And something as simple as breathing, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be associated with this, high price tag. Wellness, breathing, all of this is inclusive, which brings me to an organization that I absolutely love the name and the premise behind it, which is Hood Wellness. I think it is such a genius idea to be able to make wellness approachable, that it doesn't have to be, again, $50, athletic pants and $100 membership to an organization. Do I work with those organizations? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that that's the only means and the only route to be able to achieve wellness. You can have wellness right here where you are, whether it's your sprays that you spray, or it's your sage incense, whether it's breathing, whether it's just taking a moment to find the gratitude, even when things are so challenging and life is coming at you 100 miles per hour, because I definitely am in that place right now. But I really have challenged myself to find the gratitude in the moment and focus on my wellness and well-being. That to me is more important than anything else. So I started off with the conversation about creating wellness where you are, for yourself, for those in your community. And I want to leave on that same note. Get creative. Think about what is it that you could do that's simple, easy. Is it just breathing? Is it leading a breathing class? Or is it, taking 5 minutes to meditate, maybe even on your bus ride to where you're going? Like, I've lived that life. Don't let the backdrop fool you. Like, I have seen the bottom and I am climbing to the top, and there's ebbs and flows in life, and the top of one mountain is the bottom of another. So figuring out how is it that you can bring this sense of self-care, wellness, well-being into your life, because the ultimate goal is to get to the stage of thriving, right? It's the antithesis of surviving, right? So surviving is just trying to make it to the next hour, just trying to make it to the next day. And sometimes that's where we are, right? When the weight of the world gets so heavy. But with these wellness practices, with this self-care, with this mindfulness, the goal is to be able to not walk away from it all, but how to be able to let go of the things that we don't need to carry, and how to still thrive with those things that we do need to carry. So with that, I say thank you so much for joining me. Get creative in your wellness, and then share that information with the world. Check out some of those other organizations, the Black Girl Yoga, Flourish Baltimore and her doula program, Black Girls Breathing, and again, my favorite name, Hood Wellness. With that, be well, and I'll talk to you soon.